is not a spectator sport. It's something that you need to participate in. And Gary, it's good to hear from your first-hand adventures on the roads of dreaming. I like to talk about dreams to people who do the practice and don't just sit on the sidelines commenting on the findings of sleep research. Those people are interesting and useful, but I don't really want to hear much about dreams from someone who is not a dreamer themselves and knows what it's like to be in the field of play.
Well, I am convinced. I think this weekend I'm going to go out and get a copy of the book myself, because I think, after talking to you, for the last hour and a half, I really think it would be a very good read. And, I think it would open up your mind, too, to, the possibilities of parallel universes, dreams, and all this stuff. I also think it's a lot of people don't realize it's healthy to dream. Again, I talk about my wife. I ask her, I said, well, did you have a dream last night? No, I don't really remember it. There is some people I really do feel that they don't remember their dreams. I don't even think I'm just wondering, have you ever run across people that don't even really dream at all?
I don't think there's anybody who doesn't dream at all. There are people who have limited dream function. And we're not talking about dream recall. We're talking about the kind of dreaming activity that people can study from the behavior of the brain waves in a sleep laboratory that neuroscientists can comment on. There are people who have more limited dream function than others. Some medications and advanced alcoholism will interfere with dream function in many people. So there are some people who dream less than others. We're not talking about dream recall, but dream function itself. But I don't believe there's any sentient human being who does not dream at all. There are many human beings who deny dreaming, who say they don't dream or they don't remember and show no interest. There are people who avoid their dreams because they think that the dream is showing them something bad they'd rather not listen to. They think they don't want to hear the voice of conscience. There are many people in our society who are doing things that would be inexplicable if they were open to any kind of personal conscience, and conscience speaks through dreams. Conscience speaks through dreams, so I think that there are some people who shut out their dreams because they don't want to hear the voice of conscience. There are many people who are not remembering dreams or sharing them because they don't find it socially rewarding or interesting to do so. They're not encouraged. As you sound as if you encourage your wife and she still doesn't choose to remember dreams. Well, I'm not going to comment on anyone's marital situation. Maybe in a balanced relationship, people will do things different ways. But looking at larger at the state of society, I mean, we have not actually had a way of sharing dreams at the breakfast table or in the coffee corner or whatever, which has made it socially interesting and rewarding for people to do this. We've not had a way of commenting on each other's experiences that makes it socially interesting or rewarding. I invented a process. We call it the lightning dreamwork process. It's meant to be quick, like lightning. It's meant to focus energy like a lightning bolt. It enables us in a few minutes to hear each other's stories, give each other some non-authoritarian feedback, and guide each other towards action. It's really fun. Once people are exposed to a process like this, they have an impetus, they have a motivation to bring something to the table, whether it's a dream or something else in the morning. And when you've got that motivation, you've got that enjoyment factor, you've got the idea it's rewarding and fun to share a story, you've got, reason to bring a dream, to recall a dream and bring it along. But, the absence of connection with dreams is a serious malaise. I think that dreaming is central to the human condition. The sense of meaning is certainly central to the human condition. Viktor Frankl wrote about that in a haunting way a long time ago. Humans have a need for meaning, and one of the places that we find meaning most easily in our lives and a sense of connection to a larger purpose and a larger story is through our dreams. So if we are closed to our dreams, if we don't remember them, it might be because a vital part of our identity has gone missing. It might be we have lost the beautiful dreamer inside us, and that would be a sad thing. Indigenous people regard it as a very serious illness to have lost your connection with dreams. They think that cuts you off from the world of spirit and makes you less than fully human. I wouldn't go that far. I'm gentler than that in my comments. I think it's a very serious situation that our society has been losing dreams. And one of the stories in Mysterious Realities called Dream Takers is about just how serious it might be if a society is losing its dreams, and why that might be happening, and how to begin to bring the dreams and the dream souls back to the people who have been dream bereft.
Wow, that is so good put there too. Because you know what, I think a society that doesn't dream would be a society that would be scary. Now, I got one last question. Have you noticed, since you travel all around the world, has there more openness in some countries that you have visited on sharing their dreams? I know in this country here, at least from talking to people, they don't really want to share their dreams. Maybe they're scared to because they might get looked on like maybe they're special or they got a problem. I don't know.
There are different approaches to dreams in different societies, and there are many cultures around the world where dreaming is valued more than it is in modern American culture, but under certain circumscription and certain limitations. I mean, there are cultures where dreaming is regarded highly, but you don't share your dream outside a narrow family group, or you go to the sheikh or the rabbi or the priest to get a ruling, or the shrink to get a ruling on your dream. You go to an authority figure to get a ruling on your dream to tell you what it means. So on the one hand, there are societies where dreams are more highly valued than they might be in current North America, but the options for sharing a dream and getting some feedback are somewhat more limited. The great contribution that North America, particularly the U.S., has made to the return of dreaming and the possible rebirth of a dreaming society is that the American dream work movement, and there is one, you don't get a dream work shop like a yoga studio in every strip mall around the country, but the American dream work movement has taught us to say, if we're hearing a dream, if it were my dream. In other words, if you're going to give a comment on someone's dream, you say, if it were my dream. You don't try to tell them what it means. You don't try and play authority, shrink, rabbi, guru. You say, if you hear a dream, if it were my dream, this is what I would think. And the simple way of talking, which is more than just politeness, is very liberating, because the American dream work movement has taught us that the expert on the dream is the dreamer himself or herself, not the shrink, not the guru, not the rabbi. The dreamer himself is the authority on the dream. So that is very positive in American society. It's not yet a popular movement, not on a large scale, but I'll tell you this, Gary, wherever I go, I notice that people do listen to dreams, and that people do recognize that important things are going on in dreams, including seeing the future. Unfortunately, without some encouragement and some guidance, people are sometimes scared about their dreams of the future because they see something that they don't like you saw the accident in the van, and they were unable to act upon the information to avoid that something. It might be the death of a friend, for example, and they feel somehow guilty and somehow impotent. They turn away from dreams because they don't want to see something of the future that they cannot influence. That is, unfortunately, a common pattern, and you break it by saying to yourself, or being told by someone you can trust, you know what? You see something you don't like in the future, you've learned something. You saw the future ahead of time. Maybe next time you see something you don't like that could happen in the future, you notice the fact that you're getting an advance warning, so maybe you take action to change the future for the better. That's how you move beyond that particular kind of fear or blockage.
You know, I had one guest who was a retired professor, and when he was 10 years old, he fell out of a tree. He was... Well, they said he was dead, and I guess he was dead for over 3 minutes, and then they revived him. But, you know, he had an out-of-body experience where in this out-of-body experience, he saw himself as an adult, in his 30s, being a professor, going over to, to the Orient and teaching and all this stuff. And it was, the funny thing is, it all happened. And he wrote a book about it, and it was really interesting. His out-of-body experience. He saw his future, and he laid it all out in the book. And it was, it just happened the way his out-of-body experience happened. So I really do think we all have that capability. I think we can see things. Like when I saw that in my dream that I was going to get in an accident with a new van, it happened. And, what you're saying, what happens with your dreams. I mean, it's just, I think without dreaming, I don't think we would have a civilization. And that's just my feeling.
Well, one of my books is called The Secret History of Dreaming, Gary. Maybe you'll add that to your reading list sometime. It is an account of how dreaming has been central, a secret engine of development and creativity in every area of human life for as far back as we can track, from the beginnings of literature through breakthroughs in science and technology, through innovation in business, and through helping fishermen to find the fish in different societies. I think dreaming is indeed a secret engine of humanity, and without it, we possibly would not be alive on the planet, because if you go back in your recollection far enough to the time when we were naked apes without good weapons, being hunted for breakfast by pterodactyls and saber-toothed tigers, one of the things that kept us going was our ability to scan our environment while our body is dormant, scan our environment in dreaming, use the intuitive radar that comes alive, and keep ourselves on the planet. So this is more central to everything than most of us ordinarily today understand, because this is not the kind of information, not the kind of history, unfortunately, that's taught in schools and colleges, but it is absolutely central, as I said before, to survival as well as to recollecting our sole purpose as humans. Very good being with you, Gary.
Yeah, I enjoyed having you on. Hey, Robert, you have a good evening. And, I want to thank you for being on Night Dreams Talk Radio.
Our pleasure. To you and your listeners, may your best dreams come true. And, of course, may you remember them.
Well, I hope we all try. You take care, Robert.
Thank you. Bye.
Night. Now, again, I want to talk about November. I still have a couple openings for guests. If you have had an experience, encounter with a UFO, alien, or abduction, please contact us. We can put you on the show. You can talk about it. And you want to get a hold of me through nightdreamstalkradio@gmail.com. That's nightdreamstalkradio@gmail.com. And, all November, we're going to be talking about aliens, government conspiracies, about UFOs, and cattle mutilation, along with human mutilation. We're going to be talking about all that. A lot of great guests lined up all through the month of November. Also, if you got a pen and paper, you need to write this number down, because you can certainly call in on the show in November and ask, the guest questions too, the last hour of the show that they're on. And the number is 1-253-203-6695. That's 1-253-203-6695. Now, again, we got people like Steve Bassett, Mary Joyce, just a whole bunch of people coming on in November on UFOs. So, I think it's going to be really an exciting month. And the reason why I'm doing this is because, for the past 14 months of doing this show here, we've had mediums, we had psychics, we've had all kinds of guests in, but, and Bigfoot and all that stuff. But it's been a big demand on a regular basis. You guys want to hear more about UFOs, aliens, what's going to happen with the government? Are they going to expose that they've been lying to the public here, that UFOs do exist? Now, again, in the news today, the scientists said there's over 2 trillion galaxies out in the universe. That's a lot. And then if you believe in parallel universes, then that really doubles that, or triples or quadruples that. Now, if we think that we're the only ones walking on a planet anywhere, then something is wrong. Because if you take 2 trillion galaxies out there, how many planets are in each galaxy? How many chances is there for life? Just like anything, there could be a lot of planets like Venus, Mars, with no atmosphere. Yeah. But maybe at one point they had life, and maybe they went to another planet. I don't know. That's one thing too about with Earth changes here. The rate we're going, what are we going to do? I mean, the population is growing more, what the scientists say, than what